Welcome back, Gadgeteers. Pixie and I are hanging out here, and we thought we'd take a few minutes and talk about a new piece of technology that I purchased. This is the Apple iPad 2019, so it is not the iPad Pro. Now there's other videos out there that you can watch, so this isn't necessarily a full review. This is just my opinion and my take on this particular tablet. I'll be shooting this on my iPhone. I've been experimenting with the possibility of using some kind of portable system like the iPhone or the iPad to actually compile a video. So I've got the iPhone S, which I replaced my iPhone SE with. So I've got the XS and this particular tablet. Now there's some pros and cons depending on how you look at it. It still does use the Lightning port, and there are stereo speakers, but they're on the bottom. And on the other side, there are no additional speakers, so it's not really stereo. It depends on what way you're holding the tablet. Now this tablet, hello. This particular tablet has the A10 processor, which is the same processor that's found in the iPhone 7, I believe. So it's not the newest processor, but looking and doing a little bit of research, I feel pretty confident that this particular tablet probably will be supported for several more years. Am I concerned about performance? No, I'm not really. One of the reasons is it's running Android 13 and it's doing a great job right now. The other reason is, my iPhone SE that I have still runs great. And there's a video out there I just watched of the iPhone SE versus the iPhone 11. And comparatively, they seem to run basically about the same. So they're really not. Now, the iPhone 11 is definitely much, much faster than the iPhone SE. And the Geekbench 5 scores showed that in the video. But when you're using it, you don't really notice. So I'm thinking that this particular tablet will most likely, performance-wise, be fine now and in the relatively near future. You do have a connector on the bottom now if you would like to put in a portable keyboard, which I don't really have any interest in. It's got, I believe, rear-facing camera is an 8.0 megapixel. The front-facing camera is a crap-lousy 112 megapixels, so it's just going to do basic FaceTime at 720p, which humorously enough is better than the MacBook, the small MacBook that came out recently. Well, I shouldn't say recently, in 2015. So in some ways, this is better than the MacBook in utility and what you can do with it. I found it to be very responsive. I have no problems whatsoever using this tablet, and shortly I'll update the iOS 13.2. But it does have some really awesome, surprising features. So depending on which apps you're using, let's see. So if I want to, I can bring up Safari, and then I can bring up the icons on the menu on the bottom. So I just do a quick swipe, and then, well, it's not quite what I plan on doing. Let's bring up Safari again, and then, no, you got to be very careful. Okay, we'll grab this, try again, and move it over onto the side so you can actually have multiple apps, which I really like. And if you want to get rid of it, you just swipe it to the side. You can also pin it so that it takes up part of the screen. And of course, if you turn it on to landscape mode, you get even more room. So let's see if we can do that. We'll swipe up. And bring it to the side here. So now we've got YouTube and we have a browser open. And if we want to, we can make this smaller or larger depending on which particular app we would like to make larger. Okay, come on. I wasn't having a problem with this before. I don't know if I'm fat fingering or what's going on. But anyway, should be. There we go. So depending on what you want to do, you can make one or the other window larger. When you're ready to close one or the other window, you can just go ahead and grab that bar and move it over, and it closes the other application. So that is really helpful for me and works out really well. Again, mentioning that this is not the iPad Pro, so the chassis is actually the older chassis. I had thought about going ahead and doing the upgrade to the iPad Pro, and I'm really glad I didn't, because this one is more than fast enough for $329 for what I'm doing with it. And this chassis is a little bit thicker and a little bit more sturdy, where if you're a user of the iPad Pro, you may know about bend gate. So basically the iPad Pro is having problems where it will bend where the iPad Pro has holes in the side of the chassis, and it can actually come shipped to you bent, where the iPad is the older chassis. It's a little bit thicker, a little more sturdy, and it also has a non-laminate glass surface. So it has the glass over the top, and then the actual screen is underneath the glass. Now the negative of that is if you tilt it at an angle, you can actually see the space between the two layers of glass. The positive is, the benefit is that you actually have a little bit stronger, not just the chassis, but also the front. So that glass helps to add rigidity to the iPad and makes it much stronger. Applications, all the apps you want are there. There's tons of games. I really don't do much with games, but everything is there that you could want. And once again, the Lions lost yesterday. But one of the reasons that I bought this particular tablet was so that I could, like I said earlier, consume media. And I'm actually able to watch live Lion games. Oddly enough, not on the tablet. That was one of the reasons I bought it. And this is a licensing issue with the NFL. It is not in any way, shape, or form a criticism of Apple or the tablet. So basically, you'll see watch live while the game is playing, and you can click the button, but it does not consider the tablet a mobile app. I actually have to go back to my iPhone and watch it on my iPhone, which isn't as useful, of course, because the iPhone isn't as large. So performance is more than good enough for me. I think that the tablet is of good build quality. I don't do some of the more artistic work that people do on tablets. So for me, I don't feel like I really need the best tablet. I was just looking for something where I could do media consumption. And the other cool thing about this tablet is, I can use messaging, iMessage, messages, whatever you want to call it, and basically receive all my messages on the tablet, on my little MacBook that I have, and also on my iPhone. So you're probably thinking, wow, has he gone over to the dark side? And the answer to that is no, I have not. And here, of course, is my MacBook. I've not gone over the dark side. Thank you for asking, though. And there's my MacBook with the original 2015 keyboard. Anything Apple is basically for media consumption, and I normally had Android devices, Android phone, Android tablet, and so on, and just I'm trying different technologies. So I had the iPhone SE, which I liked, so I went ahead and did an upgrade to the iPhone XS, and I'll probably keep that for several years. And of course, now the tablet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this video together with my iPhone or maybe the tablet. I haven't decided which. I have to get the media over to the tablet, so I could use my Wi-Fi to do that. It really depends how big these videos are, but it shouldn't be an issue. And I was just curious how it would do editing-wise. So I thought, what the heck? I'll just edit this on maybe the tablet and see how it does. I've got iMovie on here, which of course I haven't used yet. And this is just a basic movie. So if you do see this, that's all it is a basic movie on iMovie on the tablet. I'm going to try and render it, edit it, render it, and upload it either on my phone or the tablet. I would prefer the tablet because it's much larger. Speaking of which, the tablet is actually light at 1.06 pounds, and I did purchase a spec case, which I actually really like. The downside to this case is that it adds, oh gosh, almost another pound. I think it's 12 ounces or something like that. But when I'm working on my videos, or rather consuming media or doing whatever it is I'm doing, it's nice to have, make a liar out of me, because you can basically set it up and use the tablet without having to hold it. I found that the chassis back is extremely slippery. So although it's much lighter to hold, I really don't feel like, I to me it's lighter, but it's very difficult to keep your hand on it. So I just snap it into the cover here, and it's not something you're going to want to take out and put in over and over, because it does take a little bit of work to get it in and out. But once you have it in there, you're all set. And the cover's pretty nice. It's magnetic, of course, so when you open it, tablet comes on. When you close it, tablet goes off. And it's got a little snap here, which you can take the cover and turn it around on the back of the tablet like so, and then you can use this cover and snap it into place and basically keep the cover together so that that back is not in the way and it's more stable. So with the cover on, no thank you Siri. With the cover on, you can see that it doesn't stay straight. So if you click in that piece there, and of course I can't do it right now because I'm one-handed, it's much more stable. However, more heavy, because now it's closer to 2 pounds. So I'm thinking I'm going to look for a lighter case. If you do decide to get a case, what I like about this one is the hard plastic all the way around. So if it's clipped and I've got the cover on, I really wouldn't worry about it breaking or cracking if I dropped it. But almost 2 pounds for, the tablet and the case, holding it like this kind of gets tiresome. So I think I might look for a different case that's, like, oh, I don't know. There's one I saw that was 7 ounces. This one's 12 ounces. And those 5 ounces don't really seem like it's worth worrying about, but in reality it is. So I may try the lighter case. It's only like $12 anyway on Amazon. Boy, my memory's going. I believe that's a microphone hole on the edge. You do get a actual classic headphone jack, and that's the power button and screen off, and the toggle button. So It's basic, the iPad 2019, but it's good enough for me. So I'm gonna cut it here and edit this video together and see if I can do it on the iPad and how well things go. All right, the video render is done. I was very surprised that it only took 5 minutes to render a 15-minute, 22-second video. I'll take the video I'm shooting now and plop it on the end of this video, so it'll be a total of about 18 minutes. 5 minutes in iMovie on a tablet to render that video. I'm very pleased with that. However, what can we say? Well, if we go and look, I have the 32 gigabyte model and I only have 6.12 gigabytes remaining. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. In hindsight, I probably should have gotten the 128 gigabyte model of this tablet for $429 versus the 32 gigabyte model for $329. So I believe I'm still in the return period. I may or may not return it. I don't know how much editing I'll be doing on this tablet. So I do have a very nice laptop with Linux on it I can use that has 2 terabytes of storage. So it's all depending on what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully with that, you understand what you might want to consider when you're making your purchase, whether you need 32 gigabytes or the 128 gigabytes. As always, thank you for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon members for supporting the channel. And as always, the comments that you leave, good or bad, thanks for watching.